What's going on, guys? Joe from Outdoorsmans here with another morning Joe. I've got the NL 1052s and I've got the EL 1050s. I know it's kind of like a, why do we care about these binos? Honestly, when the NL 1052s came out and when I first looked through them, I was like, these might be the best binoculars I've ever looked through. And then it occurred to me, that I haven't spent too much time behind the EL 1050s. First things first, let's get the specs out of the way before I forget them. EL 1050s, their field of view is 345 feet at 1,000 yards. They say they weigh about 35 ounces. I would say that's about right because, this scale that I've got right here. No, really, because the NL 52s are 36 and they feel about the same weight. I threw them both in the large FHF and I didn't notice a difference in terms of fitment or weight or pulling on my shoulders or anything like that. So for all the weight weenies out there, negligible difference in weight between the two. Fairly decent difference in field of view though. The NL 52s are 390 at 1,000 yards. We kind of have some cloudy conditions today, so it's a little bit kind of washed out, like image quality. Everything's just kind of neutral, not too bright sun, not too dark a shadow, so I guess it's not really bad to glass in. Hopefully we see something, but the 1050s, the ELs, I mean, just as you would expect with the EL line, they are phenomenal glass, ergonomic shape, not bad to handhold, not bad to look through. Field of view isn't a hindrance at all. It's like when you're talking about high-end binos like this, the glass quality is going to be there. Like, I don't care if you're talking Swarovski or Zeiss or Leica, like those three brands make some of the clearest glass on the market. And when it comes down to it, when you're trying to spend $3,000 on a pair of binos or 2,500 or whatever it may be, like at a certain point, there's just subtle differences between each optic. Sure, you might get a little more edge out of one, or you might get a little bit more contrast out of the other, but also everybody sees differently. Everybody sees color and light differently. So what works for me might not work for somebody else. And it gets down to the point where like ergonomics does make a difference. Do you handhold them better? Do the eye cups feel better? Are they better with glasses for you than say a Zeiss or a Leica? Like, it all that needs to be taken into consideration as well. So 1050s, really like the use case for these things is going to be low light performance. I mean, you're just bringing in a bunch of light. Like normally see a 50 mil objective on a 12 power binocular, on a 15 power, the 15 by 56s, 18 by 56. That's because the magnification is so long that, the light is dimmer because it has to travel farther to get to your eye. So you need to let more light in the beginning. But when you pair a large objective with a shorter magnification, then you get a super bright image, and it's really, really nice. Like just as an aside, anybody who's gotten the chance to look at the Swarovski SLC 8x56s, like you damn near blind yourself when you put your eyes into those things because they're so bright. It's just short magnification, tons of light coming in, equals a super bright image. It makes a lot of sense. So for me, a 1050 is perfect for, I had a late season elk hunt in very heavy timber. Like we weren't glassing at all. I was going to use my 8x42s, but my uncle needed a pair of binos, so I used the 10x52s, gave him the 8s, and like field of view was fine in the NL 1050s. Like I said, it's 390, so I wasn't mad at like close distance, looking into the timber in the early morning, late evening. I was pulling in a perfect amount of light to be able to see exactly what I needed to see at those times. So realistically, like a 1050 is going to be great for you boys back east. When you're in heavy timber or you're tree stand hunting, they might be a little heavy, but like, I don't know, my experience tree stand hunting, I was basically driving to my tree stand, so I didn't really care about weight. They're really good for, close timber, darker, low light hunts. So that's your use case for the 1050s, 10x52s. The stud process is pretty easy. The ELs, I think we have 1 or 2 pairs left in stock. They have the studs already installed. Honestly, like, this probably should have figured this out before we filmed this video, but I'm pretty sure the EL 1050s are no more. Like, they're not being produced anymore. So if you find a used pair, you want to buy them, we can always throw a stud in there. You just send them to us. 2 weeks, we stud install. It's like $110, and we'll get them back to you. It's a really simple process. For the NLs, you can install the stud yourself. It's the Swarovski Gen 2 stud at Outdoorsmans, and we'll send that to you. It just takes a 3/32 Allen wrench, and you're good to go. All right, let's take a sip of coffee and switch here. That is the one thing about ELs, and this is a very, very minor complaint, but when you use them a lot, since we have to mount the stud on the front end, you got to play with the balance of them on your tripod there at times. For me personally, I like binos where the stud goes into the bridge right here. They just balance a little bit better, and I don't have to fight gravity near as much. I haven't had a fluid head in a long time, Tom. This is really nice. So off the bat, definitely notice a difference in the field of view. I didn't think I would. I thought 45 feet was negligible, but honestly, you could definitely see the difference. Light transmission is pretty similar. Like, I know we have, a little bit lower contrast lighting conditions today with the overcast, but I'm not seeing very much of a difference. There's not a lot of deep shadows, so that's a little bit hard to tell. But in general, light transmission, pretty equal across both of them. Biggest thing I'm seeing is field of view. Edge to edge is beautiful in these. It was really decent in those. If I'm really splitting hairs, I'd say it's better in the NLs, but I mean, honestly, like, I don't even know the comparison. I've always equated like Swarovski glass to a reverse seared ribeye. So it's like comparing, like one of my favorite meals. It's like comparing a reverse seared ribeye versus reverse seared New York strip. I mean, both are delicious. Both are going to fill you up. One might be slightly better than the other. The eye box, or at least the field of view in the NLs is better, so it's a little bit less claustrophobic, I guess, a little less tunnel vision. 345 versus 390. I didn't think it would be a big difference, but it is, at least at first glance. God, that little patch of prickly pear down there looks like a mule deer's butt. Damn cactus deer. ergonomics, I mentioned that before. The NLs have this little dip in here, which is really nice. I want to throw them. The ELs have this little thumb deal, which is also nice. I do find the NLs easier to handhold because it's just a little thinner down there. You can get a little bit better purchase on them. But other than that, they're both, objective covers. They're both pretty dang easy to handhold. You get a little shake because they're a little heavier, but not near not near what you would find in like a 12 or a 15 if you were handholding those. The NLs, yeah, I've always found these to be a little bit better when it comes to handholding, but again, not by much. This is going to be one of those non-review reviews where I'm like, both are good. I hate that. Listen, the clear winner are the NLs. They're better field of view, a little bit easier to handhold. They should be a touch brighter with a 52 over a 50. That being said, if you don't want to spend $3,200, $3,500 on a pair of binos, you could find the EL 1050s used, or maybe a closeout item at a mom and pop, or maybe we have one still by the time you see this video, and you could get pretty decent bang for your buck out of a used pair of EL 10s, EL 1050s. All right, so there's my non-review review. Let's get another sip of coffee. This is coffee, by the way. Pretty good instant if you need some. Figure it out. Really good.
I thought you were saying it's not coffee, it's...
No, this is coffee.
This is coffee, it's not vodka.
It's not vodka, even though I probably sound like it is vodka, my rambling. No Irish coffee this morning, just straight up instant. ELs, NLs, great glass, great light transmission. Like I said, low light conditions, you're going to want to go with the 1050. They just bring in a ton of light. A little bit better field of view in these, a little bit easier to handhold, but at least with the overcast conditions today, brightness, I didn't see too much of a difference. So if you have any questions, if you want to peruse our used site, whatever you need to know, give our guys a call, 1-800-291-8065. Check us out online, outdoorsmans.com, and thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys. Oh, stupid ass.